Alright guys, another update on my 69 Charger. Last video you can see me stripping the paint off, and as you can see I've got most of the paint off of the hood and about half of the fender done. The weather started to get bad, it was raining, so I decided to push her back in and do that at another day. I've got the passenger side fender free of paint. Whatever you see on there is either surface rust or remaining primer that still needs to be sanded off. The cowl I started working on it, but I need to take all of the trim off still and get the glass out and whatnot to get to the rest of that. I got the passenger side door more or less stripped, same thing. I need to take off the trim and the door handle and whatnot to get the rest of it, but that's no big deal. The bulk of it's off, and I know what's on there right now, and it's not really thick on this side, so it's not too bad. We've got the roof more or less stripped. It just needs to be sanded off with these CSD discs that I have, and I can show you those here in just a second. Well, I guess not. I guess I can't. I put them somewhere where I can't find them at the moment. But that's okay. The driver's door has a little kink in it here and down here. It's been whacked at some point in time. It's not too bad. It can all be pulled out and straightened, I think. I just got to get the glass out and start beating on it, I guess. I've got a spotter to pull this out and pull this out. So we'll see how the panel looks once I pull that out. And other than that, nothing major, I would say. Just needs to be sanded once again. I think whenever I had its little fender bender back in the day, they took and pulled it out with a slide hammer. Like they used to do back in the days, they just drill a hole in here and then they would pull it out with a screw. So we have to weld those back shut because we don't do that. We use the spotter. We weld a stud onto here, and then we'll pull it out with the slide hammer, and let's see if we can get the panel back into shape. And everything else that we have, of course, needs to be beaten with a hammer somehow. So we'll see how that looks once we get it apart and start working on it. And I'm sure it'll be a big pain in the butt, but other than that, it's okay. I took off those replacement quarters that came with the car. They're just halves. They go up to, normally they go up to about here, so they go up over the body line. But the previous owner, or one of the previous owners, had taken and cut it off around here and then flanged it. And because I'm not using these half quarters, because I'd like to put on full quarters so everything is nice and straight and whatnot, I put them up for sale, and I actually sold the right side, which is still sitting here. And as you can see, it's for a 70 Charger. So I can turn it around, maybe you can see it better. These are for a 70 Charger, and the tail lights on the 70 Charger, or the side markers anyway, they're bigger than on the 69. So anyway, so we got the quarter panel off of this side, and it looks pretty good until you get down to about here as usual. This is full of something, and the whole wheel arch is full of everything, and it's been repaired previously, and then they slapped on this, I guess, rattle can paint or whatnot. That's the easiest paint to get off of these panels so far. They've got the trunk lid pretty much stripped down. We'll take and hit that with a sander here in the next bit. Not exactly sure when, because I'm back working next week. And the rear panel, the filler panel, looks to be good as well. So we've got a hole. If you look back here, we've got rust back here on the sail panel. So once I take the rear window out, it'll probably be nasty there, but I plan on putting a full new quarter on this side just because of all the previous work that's been done to it. And on this side, we actually have a hole. We have lots of rust and a hole. And the thing is, you could probably fix this, but you'd have to go up to here. And by the time you start working on this, it's all rusty and thin and whatnot. And since this is all nasty, and this is all nasty, and that's nasty as well, then we'll just replace the whole thing. So anyway, we've got the seats out. And we need a driver's driver's floor pan for sure, because it's rusted around the drain hole you can see up here. And the passenger side is actually not too bad. So we need to vacuum it out and get the wire wheel on it and whatnot. And then we'll see if we can't. There's a little bit of a tear in one of the grooves there, and the drain hole's nasty, of course, but the rest of it's actually okay. So I hate to tear out that original floor just to fix something small like that. So with the pandemic at the moment, there are no floor pans available anywhere. So, especially not here in Germany. So we'll wait that one out, and we've got some other sheet metal ordered. We've got the rockers, the outer rockers are ordered. The quarters are ordered. The right side is available at the moment. The left side is unobtainium until next year, according to AMD. I ordered the rear valance and the corners because they're nasty. See down here, they're all dented up. There's a hole there. And the corners, of course, they're rusted out as well. So while you're doing the balance, might as well do the quarters. And I don't know about the tail panel yet. I think I'm going to pull the tail lights out. I need to do it anyway, of course. But there's some rust here, and it's pushed in a little bit here. And this is also unavailable at the moment. So AMD, if you're listening, please get parts back in stock for us so that we can continue on. So anyway, got the engine back from the machine shop, and the only reason I have it back at the moment is because wherever it was sitting, it was like really, I guess, moist, I guess you could say. Whoever stored it, they put like grease or oil or something inside the cylinders, so they weren't so bad, but the outside is like really nasty. So they hot tanked it a couple of times, and they got as much as they could off. But what they did is they gave me the block and said, well, here's the block, so you can take it and wire brush it or do whatever you got to do to get all the rust off the outside. Then you give it back to us, and then we'll hot tank it again to get all the crud off that you produced. And then they're going to start working on it. So there'll be another video on that. I've got a tank back there working on smaller parts at the moment. But what I plan to do on this is just put it in the tank and use electrolysis to take off most of the crud, and, well, the rust anyway. And then we'll see how it looks after that. And I'm just looking to do the outside. Of course, the inside is normally pretty clean as far as that goes. But if we can get out some off the inside as well, then hey, why not? And try to get the rest of the paint off that's not already off. The hot tanking took most of it off that was still left on there. But there's still, as you can see, a lot of surface rust on there. And we're doing the valve covers, the original valve covers. So took and knocked most of the stuff off of there with the wire wheels so I can throw them in the electrolysis tank. And back here, everything's kind of crammed up in here at the moment because, well, that's how it is. We've got the toxic tank here that's taking off the rust off of one of the original valve covers and also the original oil pan that were on this engine. So we'll let them sit for a day or two, and they should be pretty much rust free. Then we can throw some new parts in there. And in the meantime, we did get a few parts that we picked off of Marketplace and whatnot. Got a set of Hooker Super Competition headers, which are ceramic coated, so those will be going on the car, kind of like the Hookers. I got them on my Torino, which is back there. And we'll see what kind of mufflers we put on the back when it's time to get around to installing an exhaust, but we're far from there at the moment. So anyway, so we got that in. We got an original power steering pump with brackets in, with the long neck on it, and also some alternate brackets, because those were missing. So other than that, as far as the engine goes, I've got rods that came in. Got the original intake that's down here, so that's kind of iffy at the moment. And we have a big crate full of nuts and bolts and rocker arms and the original cam that was in the engine, the balancer and whatnot. So I've had yet to go through that. I don't know what the deal is with all of that, but we'll pick it out as we need to and then keep on going on and probably try to get this intake in the tank as well to get it derusted and then yeah, go from there. So anyway, that's my update for today, and keep watching, subscribing, and see you soon. Bye bye.